What's up guys, it's Drac, and when I went out for Force Friday, there was one thing that was so large, so expensive that nobody bought it. So I bought it, because I really wanted to make a video about it for you guys. So this is the XL edition of the Star Wars RC Millennium Falcon. So if you look at it from the top down, it's a quadcopter, but it's a quadcopter encased entirely in a Falcon shell. It's got miniature Chewie and Han here on the side cockpit. Fun fact, does anybody know why the Millennium Falcon's cockpit is on the side and not in the center? I do, but then it's got LEDs integrated for its hyperdrive, and I think that there are more LEDs integrated into it, but it's insanely huge. I wish you guys could tell just how big it is. On video, everything tends to look smaller, but like, this is a massive quadcopter, and it was exceptionally expensive. If we flip it over, you can see it's of course got a remote control which tells you everything from its battery to I think just its battery, and then it's got trim controls and standard, I think, quadcopter stuff going on. It does require some AA batteries for the controller, but the Falcon itself is rechargeable, I assume with some sort of LiPo pack inside. But now let's do the unboxing, and then of course after we finish the unboxing we're gonna have to charge it. So I don't know. It says a lot about this toy that it is so massive that it comes with its own carrying handle, just so that you can get it out to your car and then from your car into your home. But like, it is monstrously huge. Very, very cool. It doesn't have a camera or anything, so like, it's not as expensive as, say, a Phantom. You can get as expensive as you want to with quadcopters, but this is really, really cool and just massive in scale. So this is a product question card. I assume this is going to be the charging block, and it is. So we can use this to charge, but I really want to do the unboxing of the Falcon itself. So I'm trying to figure out what all this other stuff is. Is this a cover for one of the... It might be all four of the covers. It looks like in addition to this one, there's some way to open this thing. Here we go. There are even more covers. So these will protect, I assume, the propellers. 3 of them appear to be identical, and then this one is probably the odd man out. And then we have instructions, which are very important, and then we have the gargantuan shell to the Falcon itself. Now this appears to be all foam. In fact, it doesn't seem to weigh much of anything, but it is the majority of the space inside the box. It has tissue paper on either side, and then the Falcon itself has like guns on top and on the bottom, curves up just a little bit, and then all of the props come out from the main body, which is like sandwiched inside. You can vaguely, barely, sort of, kind of see inside this foam that there's a skeleton here, 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 and then I think going around, and then you can see all of the wires and whatnot inside. And so how are we going to get at this to charge? Now, I'm kind of disappointed by the quality control on this. You can see that this is already falling off and this one is already destroyed. Like, I know it's made of foam, guys, but come on. It costs $300. You should be able to, like, send uniform stuff. Over here, we have that cockpit, which is collapsible, and then Han and Chewie are inside. They're just deco. They don't come out. They're not like figures or anything. And then I don't know why this one's different, because all of the holes seem the same. Perhaps these go underneath. I'll figure it out and assemble it at a separate point in time. But then we have the controller itself, and let's hook these up to charge, and I'll show you how it flies. I'm really excited to take this one out for a spin. Okay guys, so we're going to take the maiden voyage of the Falcon in the daytime, and then we'll do a quick nighttime flight as well for you to show off some of the features. But I want to talk about the controller first. Now the controller tells you how charged it is, how charged the Falcon is. Now I've charged both and assembled it. These plates all only go on in their specific locations, so they're really, really easy to get on there. The switches down here are where it gets interesting. These are just trim control, and this is standard quadcopter piloting. There are 2 triggers up here. This one controls like your hyperdrive LEDs, and this one is sounds. There are multiple sounds that come out of this guy, but if you don't want the sounds at all, you can mute it. This switch is a rubberized toggle switch. They all are, and they actually feel great. There's a very sci-fi kind of feel to me, at least as like an old school Firefly fan, to just this noise. I don't know. I think that that's cool. But this is a mute button. Down is mute, up is sounds. We want sounds. The sounds come from the speaker built into the back end of the controller itself, not the Falcon. And then up here we have lights versus no lights. I'm sure that there are various situations where that would be important to have it illuminated so that you could find it, say if it crashed, or not to have it illuminated if you needed to fly it in a place where you wouldn't want to distract other things like airplanes or towers. But this kind of tells you up here, there's LED outputs telling you what mode you're in, so that tells you that you're in advanced flying mode, and then down here is basic. We're going to fly basic for this. We don't need any advanced movement techniques. And then this of course controls whether or not it's muted and whether or not it's illuminated. So we're going to light it up and have sounds for our controller, and we're going to run through the soundboard really quick because it's cool. So here we have this is us firing lasers. There's some droid noises, rapidly firing lasers, Chewie, and we've cycled through it. So droid noises, Chewbacca, and various firing modes. Then we've got this, which not only controls the LEDs here in the back, which we'll see better at night, but also makes noises. Same each time, no worries. Now, as far as actually flying it goes, it's pretty standard quadcopter controls. This is up, down, left, right, and then various trims. But let's take it up. Super uncomfortable controller, just not very ergonomic for actual flight. We'll try to take it up here. Sync it. Alright, power on. There we go. Alright, so immediately I just want to let you guys know it is not particularly responsive, and even though I'm adjusting the trim control and really trying to get it to level out and hover for me, it just doesn't want to do that. It's getting better, but it also doesn't want to land. It's just very, very slow to respond to a lot of these commands. Either that or it lands very slowly naturally. But we're going to bring the Falcon down. Yeah, it's as good a place as any, I suppose. And that flight had our battery at about half, and you can see that I adjusted some of these trim controls. The sides here are supposed to tell us about that, but I don't think that it did a particularly great job of leveling out. So as far as like flying it goes, it's very, it's certainly flyable, like it works, it looks cool. I can't tell you how much fun it is like having the Millennium Falcon in the air, like that's why you buy this product, but it doesn't fly well. I mean, and that makes sense, like it's a $300 quadcopter in a world where you can get so much more performance for that amount of money than this. This is a relatively cheap Air Hogs quadcopter with a ton of foam throwing it all herky-jerky, all kinds of stuff. So I was noticing a lot of drift this way and kept trying to correct that out, and I just couldn't. Let's try one more flight just for fun, see if it was a one-time thing. I don't know. It is really cool having a flying Millennium Falcon, though. I wish I could tell you guys that it's terrible and it's not worth the money, but wow. No! So it was making some noises when I crashed it. It tells me that it can at least tell when it's impacted something. That's kind of wild, but there are 2 LEDs in the front lighting its way, and then we've got the LEDs in the back for the hyperdrive. So I'll try one more time. I feel like the battery on this itself is actually dying a little bit. You can see when I try and take it off. Yeah. Nope, land. Land! So we didn't get a ton of flight time out of it. I mean, I charged it for an hour. I figured that would be enough. Maybe it wasn't, but I'll go charge it again, and then we'll pick this up at a nighttime segment. I'll make a completely separate video about whether or not this is worth the money, but right now I'm just having fun with it. Alrighty guys, here we go, nighttime demo. So this is my first time seeing it as well, but we've got the hyperdrive, which is visible slightly through the foam and comes out the back. Actually looks really cool. I think I saw these blinking up here, and then there's also one LED in the cockpit, which is kind of cool, illuminating our captain and co-pilot. Let's turn this on as well. And I'm going to try these one more time just for fun. Okay, so that makes the back end blink, and then this front end up here is still just noises. Alright. Guys, this thing is so hard to fly. I don't know what to tell you. I just crashed the Millennium Falcon. A lot of people are going to be really upset. Again, I'm not a terrible quadcopter pilot. Like, I have no idea what's wrong with this thing. I'll adjust the trim again, hoping that it'll stay upright, but this is frankly pretty ridiculous. Alright, there we go. Now let's tap. So the sounds are really only usable when it's far away from you, and you really don't want to take it that far away from you because occasionally you just lose all control of it. Really, really frustrating to fly this thing at times. It is very cool. I mean, it is the only Millennium Falcon I know of that you can fly. Then that's what it looks like straight on, of course, but all right, land. Land, please. Thank you. Alright, so, I don't know if this is a nighttime toy or a daytime toy. I feel like it's much safer to pilot during the day, but much cooler to fly at night. It's definitely quite expensive and quite cool. We'll be talking about whether or not I think it's worth the money in a completely separate video, which I'll link here. But for the time being, I don't know. It was fun. It was fun to play with. How many more times do I get to play with it before it destroys itself is the real question. Very fragile foam.